Hello and welcome back to Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2, and in this episode, Vader's Fist Strikes Back. We are doing another space mission, although you would not think so by this intro, because, you know, they are grounded going into space.
Meanwhile, the Lollipop Guild observes through the telescope a fucking action sci-fi movie.
Yes, YAVIN for orbit.
You having fun yet?
Was destroyed. About half of the 501st Legion was still in the hangar getting into their ships. Of those who made it out, another third were caught in the explosion. I'd fought with some of those men for over 20 years. Afterwards, those of us that survived hooked up with a nearby Imperial fleet making a retaliatory strike on the rebels' base on YAVIN 4. It wasn't the best thought-out plan, but we were cut off from our leaders, tired and operating on instinct. If not for our training, we probably would have never gotten past their orbital defenses.
Alright, so officially we are in episode 5.
Nice.
So yeah,
we only have two options.
Episode 4.
If you take me down now, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly hope to play as, especially given a 30-second timer to choose.
Alright. This mission is very tight. You need to be in the bombers in order to do the objectives here. So just stay in the bombers for the entire mission, and you should be okay. It'll still take. It still takes a while in order to take down each of the transports, but honestly, just stay in the bomber. Pretend that you don't have access to fighters. Honestly, it's better that way.
Yeah, kind of simplifies things. So what, you have the option to destroy these from the inside instead?
No, you do not. You cannot land on these.
Okay. So here we have the flying portion of Ratchet and Clank. It offers varied gameplay, and it makes you realize that Star Fox 64 on the N64 was an excellent game.
Sure, I mean, Star Fox 64 was mostly a rail shooter.
Not just a rail shooter.
Well, that's how I got away with most of the set pieces, dude. It was just doing rail shooter mechanics.
But it's only bad when you draw attention to it.
No, it's not a bad thing. I mean, rail shooters can be pretty damn fun. After all, people really like House of the Dead for some reason. I mean, I don't, but I'm an asshole, so.
You need more tickets at Dave & Buster's.
No, I don't want to spend quarters at Dave & Buster's just to fail to play the same Terminator 3 game over and over again.
So, what are the hazards in this level? So far, you've had a pretty easy time.
There are enemy fighters floating around, and they'll shoot you with missiles, and the missiles do a significant amount of damage to your health. But notice that I had 2.5 minutes in order to take down all these transports, and we're almost out of time. The biggest issue in this episode is not necessarily the enemy space battle that's happening behind us. Instead, it's actually the time limit, because all the objectives here are very tight.
And the timer has been destroyed.
Yeah, so that we can go and attempt to destroy the Corvettes. Mind you, there is still actually a timer, because the Corvettes are attempting to escape. You have to kill them both before they escape.
And hence we have another time constraint. Don't let them get away.
Alright, one frigate down, and now for the other frigate.
Friggin' frigate.
Corvette, sorry.
Mon Calamari.
And there.
We are dead.
Yeah,
you
we
killed yourself
by crashing into the Corvette. Now we have 10 minutes to finish the mission.
But you were dead before, so how do they count that as a suicide?
Because I died by crashing into the Corvette.
Oh, I thought I saw you spiral out like you took one last hit, your health bar went, and then no, I lost control of my ship. No, we're gonna crash.
Nope. Okay, so what they're not telling me to do here right now is take out the engines, but yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be taking out each of the. No, actually, we're supposed to be taking down the fighters. But what I'm trying to do now is do significant damage to the Star Cruiser, so that when it comes to it, we can actually start. We have 10 minutes right now. The 10 minutes are to take down the fighters and this cruiser. Unfortunately, I'm not actually allowed to do significant damage to these engines at the moment, as we will see when I attempt to do it here.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, they're mostly immune to damage, so I instead have to do the fighters. But the thing is, the bomber pretty much has a railgun as its primary fire. So assuming that you can actually stay like this far back and engage in the space battle that's happening way the fuck out there, it works. It's not good, but it works.
Yeah, that at least you can hit the targets. That's good. That's good use of bullet permanence.
Although, honestly, for this segment, you probably should just switch over to the fighter, which is what we're going to go do now.
So it says take out all the targets. So I would take out, if this was me, I would take out the softest targets first.
Oh, no. You don't want to, you only want to start fighting the fighters when they tell you to, because if you attempt to take down the fighters beforehand, you're just going to end up, well, with not enough time.
So are you saying that they're not required? Because, I mean, everything takes time to do.
Well, here's the problem. The fighters are not required until this segment of the mission. During the previous segment of the mission, taking down the fighters is a waste of time, simply because, well, you don't get advancement on this particular segment during that. We don't have a list of objectives when we spawn in Cloud. We have to wait for the objectives to come in as we complete them.
I thought it said, I'm pretty sure it said destroy all the targets.
No, it did say clear the targets, but it didn't say what those targets were. The targets are actually on the start menu at the moment, and right now, our targets are fighters.
Check your targeting computer. Everything has a nice little red bullseye like the target logo directly above them. Shoot them. Oh, fuck. That's...
Yes, we died.
Now he is a true hero.
All hands, man your battle station.
And see, our allies are fighting over kills, and it's like, guys, if you're getting kills, why aren't they actually being attributed to my score? Because I hate how tight this mission is.
You know, if the fucking tight end didn't collide with the running back, that guy might not have gotten the touchdown. Yeah.
That's a football analogy.
Yes, and my football nomenclature is very, very weak. I'm only very slowly learning the names of the positions on the field.
That's okay, Cloud. You already know more than I do.
I hope so, because I've probably watched. Dating the episode a little bit, it wasn't too long ago that Monday Night Football had one of its best games ever, with the Saints at Rams. The Rams taking it. It was the Chiefs game. Yeah, it was Chiefs at Rams. Fucking Rams take it 54-51. That's 105 confirmed points, and Monday Night Football said that, yes, that is the most combined total we've ever seen on the show.
Well done, pilots.
Alright.
We need to clear a path for our frigates to cover you. Use a TIE bomber to destroy their heavy turrets.
Yes, and now we can actually start dealing significant damage. Now we can start.
So we can actually now start doing significant damage
to the frigate. Why did you spawn me in the command station?
Because.
No, I need to be out on the hangar base so I can get into a goddamn bomber.
Penalty. Take 15 seconds off the clock. Well, they have to have some way of punishing you. I mean, you're gonna run out of time well before you run out of lives.
Yes, because honestly, although our allies are in combat and still draining our stock, they're not draining it nearly as fast as they were in previous missions. So
they learned something. They learned that. Wait,
no,
they
did
throw
not.
my life away. I can live. I can live.
All right.
Okay, how about stacking awards in order to, like, is there a particular order of best operations to get the rewards you need, to get the power you need to, like, to just take everybody else out?
No, because if you die, you lose all of your stacks.
Fuck. Okay, so not dying is very important to this mission.
No, not dying is important in general, but, you know, we're at the last 3 missions of the game. Not dying is no longer an option.
You're going to die.
You are going to die, and it's going to be bullshit most of the time.
Okay, nobody's hitting us right now, even though there's a fucking gun staring us in the face. And you crashed.
Yep,
You
I
died.
crashed.
Oh, how come it didn't say you killed yourself that time?
I crashed into an enemy ship. You know, the large frigate? I crashed into that.
Yeah, but it didn't say you killed yourself. It just said you died.
Yeah. Honestly, I do like the space missions in general, at least during the campaign. I'm not sure if I like the space missions during Galactic Conquest, but I haven't actually played Galactic Conquest space missions all that often, so they could actually still be fun.
My only bone to pick with the space mission is that I feel, because the gun on these ships is supposed to operate independently. You can see that in the Star Wars movies, that there's always a pilot and there's always a gunner. So why don't you have tank controls where your aiming cursor is not your steering mechanism?
Well, the thing is, that's specifically for the larger ships. The fighters are all one-man units. The fighters and interceptors, yeah, those are all one-mans.
Interesting, but still,
The
it
Millennium
looks like
Falcon is
because
technically a trade boat, dude.
I'm fucking thinking that it's a computer-operated system. Why the hell does it have 6 freaking engines?
Alright, come on. Swivel around.
If you had independent motion on your gun, you wouldn't have to turn around first.
This is true, but then I would just be flying out into the dead space null zone.
Well, whose fault is that, Mr. Driver?
That's technically the fault of the constricted level design. It looks really open, but there are invisible walls at the very edges of the map.
Because earlier, yes, and I hope that they put those invisible walls outside of the space around your targets.
Yeah, for the most part. Technically, the spaceship itself may as well be an invisible wall because, you know, you die if you crash into it.
Yeah, which is bullshit that there are segments of the game where you're strafing either on the side or above or even below these things, but if you try to shoot them by turning your aiming cursor, you take your ship with you and you crash.
Well, you can see on the TIE Bomber specifically that it doesn't actually have a mounted turret. But so we have completed it with about a minute left. Last time I completed that mission, I had like 10 seconds left. The objectives here are very tight, and that's my big issue. Otherwise, it's actually a relatively fun space mission. I mean, it's totally dependent on the bomber, but most space missions are like that because the bombers are just so much better.
And so the battle over YAVIN came to an end. I'm told we destroyed hundreds of rebel ships that day. Even if it had been thousands, it wouldn't have made up for the Death Star.
Yeah, the Death Star was a tragedy for the Empire.
You're a camper.
But now, we are moving on to the most bullshit mission in the game. The literal hardest mission in the game, and probably in the Battlefront series as far as I know. I've not actually played Battlefront 1, and I've not played the new Battlefronts either, but those don't really have single-player campaigns. I mean, the new Battlefront 2 technically has a single-player campaign, but it's broken as shit and we don't talk about it. Join us next time for the crown battle of YAVIN 4. Fuck this place.